Do you have an evacuation kit ready to go? What is even in an evacuation kit? Today, we're going to show you why it's a good idea to have one and see what happened when the sheriff came to our door when a raging wildfire overcame our neighborhood. Hey guys, I'm Scott.
And I'm Natalie.
And we're Daddy-Daughter Disaster Preparedness. And we are here to simplify what it takes to become disaster prepared for the whole family, step by step. And today, we're going to go over what's inside the evacuation kit.
Please make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell down below so that you're notified every time we post new videos.
Alright, so we're going to go over the evacuation kit today. These things can get really overwhelming at times in trying to figure out what you want to put in them. So you want to just think of the evacuation kit as your kit that has your most important and valuable things in it and the stuff that you would need just to grab in an instant to get out of the house. Of course, everyone's evacuation kit is going to be different, so we're going to give you evacuation kit resource list that you can download. We'll leave a link below for that. And although this resource list of different things to have is quite extensive, you're not going to have every single thing on here. It's a guideline. Of course, you could have everything on here if you want, but that's up to you. So we're going to go over just some of the basic things that we have in ours and why we think it's important to have those. Okay, so say for example, like in our case, a raging wildfire was coming up over the hill. You're asleep, and all of a sudden you get a knock on the door and it's the sheriff's and they're telling you to evacuate. You've got 5 to 10 minutes to get out of the house. Most people, they're in a panic, they don't realize what's going on and they're running around looking for what they need. They may not even know what they need. And they end up leaving and forget a lot of important things that they wish they had taken. So we have some things that are laid out on the table here that we have in our evacuation kit. So this is what we keep all of our evacuation equipment stored in. It's a 27-gallon plastic container that's easy to grab and go. On the evacuation kit, it starts with sanitation. So sanitation being things, of course, that you would need to keep sanitary. So we've got pre-packed toiletry bags for everybody with all the essentials in there. The toothpaste, toothbrushes, shampoo, hairbrush, underarm deodorant, stinky pits, just the things that you need on a daily basis to maintain your hygiene. Also, we have this little pre-packed hygiene kit for men, so it's got a razor in there, a bag of Kleenex, toothbrush, toothpaste, and a few other things. Wet wipes, can't be without the wet wipes. These can come in handy for lots of things, wiping dirty hands, wiping other things as well. Also, you might want to think of packing medications that you or anyone in your family uses on a daily basis. If someone in the family is getting heartburn every other night, you might want to have in your evacuation kit heartburn medicine. So think of the medicines that you might need on a daily basis. Also, a very important thing you don't want to forget is prescription drugs. So make sure you have enough prescription drugs and pack those in your evacuation kit as well. You don't want to be rummaging through the house looking for those when time is of the essence. All right, what else do we have, Nat? What's this?
First aid kit.
First aid kit. Probably a good idea to have a first aid kit in your evacuation kit as well. Now remember, we also went over the home emergency kit and our bug out bags. A lot of the items are duplicated, so it doesn't make sense to be packing things that are already in other kits. So for example, we went through our home kit, right? Mm-hmm. And what do we have in our home kit? We had that trauma bag, right? The big first aid kit. That's already in a container in the same place that the evacuation kit is in. So we would just grab that as well. So remember that the different kits, a lot of the items on here are, like I said, duplicated. You may not need to have everything in that evacuation kit if you already have some of that stuff in your home kit and bug out bag as well. All right, what else is up on here that you think would be important that we would need at a moment's notice to evacuate?
Clothes.
Yeah, clothes.
Yeah, these are heavy.
So having some clothes packed and ready to go for at least 2 or 3 days is a good idea to have in your evacuation kit. So we have these in a vacuum pack bag to save space. These are air.
What is this? Pants?
Yeah, we got pants, we got shirts, we got socks, we got underwear. So to save space, we have them in these special bags that squeezes all the air out and they compress down.
Some water. Packets of water.
Yeah, so you might want to think about having some emergency water in your evacuation kit. If you're on a, say you're going out of state to get away from the disaster that you're in your hometown, and your drive is going to be somewhat far, just having some water is a good idea, as well as some emergency food. Now,
That's not food, that's like chalk cheese.
We went through these emergency food bars. You can see our other video where we did the taste test on these. But these are long shelf life and they don't take up a lot of space. So we just keep them in our evacuation kit as well. You could also have other food that's more
edible,
appeasable to the children. Hopefully wherever you're going to, there's going to be stores that are open and places to get other supplies. So the evacuation kit is really more or less for the important things that you can't replace, and just like I said, a few things to get you through for a few days until you get to where you're going. Okay, so we're going to show you one of the most important things that you want to consider having towards the end of this video. We'll save that one for last. This is a very important thing that you should do, and it could save you lots of headache. So you don't want to leave your pets behind, so you need to have stuff for them as well. So we've got his crate there, and we've got a bag here for all the pet supplies. We have his food, we have food.
Bless you.
You want to have leash. Well, the cat doesn't go on a leash, but if you have a dog or whatnot, you want to have that. The water that we have, the water also come in handy for the pets. When you're traveling, have their food bowl, any first aid or medicine for the pets as well. So everything that you use on a daily basis for your pets, you also want to have in your evacuation kit. And also in this evacuation sheet resource list, there's a whole bunch of items on here for pets in case you forget anything. This would ring a bell, so maybe you go, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's very important to have all of your important documents in your evacuation kit. Now, whether they are the originals or they're copies, you need to have something that you can take in case of a fire or a major disaster to where that stuff is just completely lost. Can you imagine the headache of not having any of that information when you're trying to reestablish after a major disaster? It's not the place you want to be in. So having a container, we have this fireproof fire safe here. So within here, we have important papers. So for example, extra cash. It's a good idea to have extra cash for traveling stored up in here. You never know when you might just need cash. Credit cards or ATMs may not always be working, so it's always good to have cash in your evacuation kit. Another thing that is all your important documents. So what I did is I made photocopies of every single credit card and every single important document, driver's license, insurance cards. So having all your important information in one place ready to go is what you need. Because here again, you don't want to be running around in 5-10 minutes trying to get what you need to get out of the house. Important pictures, albums, books, whatever you value, have it in the safe place in your evacuation kit so it's ready to go. So the important documents that we have in ours, like I said, are photocopies of all my important information, credit cards and whatnot. Now another important thing to do is have it all backed up on a USB as well. So you can have double protection knowing that it's there and on paper. So also on this resource sheet, it has a list of all the important documents you might want to consider storing in your evacuation kit. Driver's license, passports, wills, house deeds, any kind of important document that you have filed, have copies of it, have it on a backup USB drive as well. Okay? You can also do one of these right off your computer. When you back up all the information on your computer, you can have that in there as well. Okay, so having one of these with all your important information is going to really be a benefit for you. All right, so there you go. That's pretty much the evacuation kit that we have. And like I said earlier, we combine that with our home emergency kit and our bug out bag. So we'll have everything in one place, ready to go. Just throw it in the car and it's all in one place and ready to go. So here's a video of when the sheriff came knocking on our door to tell us we only had a few minutes to evacuate because the wildfire was raging over the hill. But because we were prepared and knew that it was coming and we had everything in one place, we were already gone.
Hello?
Hi, Bam, are you home?
No, we're not. We left already.
Okay, good. It's mandatory evacuation, that's all.
What was that? I'm sorry?
Make sure to leave a comment down below on any other ideas you think might be good to have in your evacuation kit. Thank you for watching this video and give it a thumbs up. Bye.
Bye.
Blue. That's fine, keep that.
Okay. So we'll go through a few things here that are really important to have. Of course, everyone's evacuation kit.
Why are you so bad at this?
Of course. Okay. Also, you have this little. Oh no, that's not it. There's my picture of me. All right, so we've got credit cards, birth certificate, marriage certificate, driver's license. All right, so check out